What up? This is Rama Screen, and in the anticipation of Occupation Rainfall arriving in theaters and on digital and on demand June 11, I'm here talking with the star of this new film, Dan Ewing. How are you, Dan?
You know, mate, it's good to talk to you. Good to talk to you.
Congratulations on this sequel. Thank you for taking the time. You were previously part of the first installment as well, playing the character Matt Simmons. So tell me, Dan, was it always part of the plan from the beginning for you to reprise this role for multiple films?
Well, you'd have to ask our visionary director, Luke Spark. To be honest with you, I think it was supposed to be a standalone film. But with markets, especially in the US and with the success of the film on Netflix, you've got to give the people what they want, right? So here we are.
Nice. For my viewers at home, tell us about the progression of Matt, meaning how has he grown in this sequel compared to how he was in the first movie? What can we anticipate about Matt this time around?
This is why I love you, mate. Character arc questions. This is what actors like to talk about. It's not just about explosions. No, it's actually a great point. So we see Matt and everybody else 2 years down the track. So even physically, if for everybody playing at home, if you put sort of an image of the two versions of Matt up, so I'm about 10 kilos. It's almost sort of 20 pounds lighter. I sort of just imagine they'd be living on sort of spam and all those sorts of horrible, sort of things. So, and he's certainly more sort of battle hardened, a few battle scars. So physically, emotionally. So he's in a very different place, and there's a lot of conflict going on. And that's sort of the barometer for conflict between the two sides. Obviously, there's the occupying force, but then there's the human element and the other greys who are in the middle, who are, sort of defectors. So it's quite interesting to see Matt's sort of constant sort of conflict within himself, or which side he takes. Is he a wipe them all out kind of guy? Or does he want to work with them and achieve a peace that Amelia does? So it's a great character arc to play.
I had the fortune of watching this movie recently, and one of the things that stood out for me was the action set pieces. It was just like so explosive, and it was just massive, from one scene to the next. I mean, how challenging physically was that for you, going through all that, and how much of the stunt that you did, and compared to the stunt double?
Well, I love it. I love that sort of stuff. And I've been very lucky in my career, ever since the Power Rangers days, to be allowed to do sort of 99% of my stuff. I feel like there's in the final edit, there's maybe 1 or 2 shots max that isn't me, for the insurance purposes. I was very lucky to do it all. But I've got to say, a special shout out to the amazing performers in the Kal-El suits, sort of the alien super soldiers. Now, like, when Luke yells cut, we have like sort of the hair and makeup artist coming and checking on me and handing me water or whatever it is. Those guys are stuck in those suits, and it's not like we're shooting out in like fresh air conditioned. Those guys were doing it tough, or much tougher than I was. So, but yeah, the short answer is I got to do most of my stuff. It was fantastic.
Awesome. And before I continue with my next question, just a quick plug that you were in my favorite movie last year, Love and Monster, and your death scene was epic. Just want to throw it out there.
It's funny because that movie is obviously, I think it was the #1 movie in the world, Love and Monster's one for April. And it was such a fun movie to do. Interestingly, though, my little boy thinks anything I do is quite funny. He's 6, but he's grown up in the film industry, so he can kind of differentiate what's real and what's not. He didn't like it because, for spoiler alert, I turn it off now. Obviously, Cap ends up being the sort of human antagonist, the human bad guy. So it was. He didn't like that I was the bad guy. I thought it was quite interesting. He wanted me to be the hero. I was like, "Come on, mate. The bad guys get to. I got to get him to watch the original Die Hard. We'll get him in love with the bad guys."
Back to Occupation Rainfall, though, I gotta ask, what's it like working with Ken Jeong? He's one of my favorite comedians out there, but he's more on the serious side in this film. So in between takes, did he crack up jokes? Was it hard to keep a straight face when he's around?
Well, I would call him on the serious side, but he still brings that Ken Jeong flavor. To be honest with you, he and I really connected over basketball. He's a basketball nut. He's a huge Duke fan. So he and I talk basketball most of the time, but just such a real pro and just very, very giving, like, and constantly constantly throwing ideas at us. I think he was amazed at how hard and how fast we move here in Australia. Obviously, we had a great budget for an Australian and overseas co-pro, but it's still not $150 million. It's still not Michael Bay kind of money. So with that, time equals money, right? So or time is money. So we have to move fast to be able to put that money up on screen and put it into the effects that we need. So I think Ken might have been a bit shocked by how hard we went.
Now, let me ask you this fun question that I asked your director, Luke, last week when I talked with him. I don't know if this news has reached Australia, but over here in America, recently there has been a declassifying of military videos of UFOs. And so the government is slowly but surely releasing those to the general public. Let me ask you this fun hypothetical question. Do you, Dan, believe that we're not alone out there? Is there other species, intelligent species, that's observing us? And if so, do you think they mean us harm or peace?
I believe the answer lies in Occupation Rainfall, and everybody should go and see it. No, I'm a big believer in world energy, right? So you, me, the computers, the microphones we're talking on, I believe we're all energy. Is it to the extent that we see in Hollywood? Maybe, maybe not. But I think we'd be naive to think with this vast universe that we know F all about, let's be real, that there wouldn't be something out there, whether it's little green sludge or something, a bit more like what we see with the Cali and Occupation Rainfall. I think it'd be naive to think we're completely alone.
Excellent, excellent. So finally, will there be Occupation Rainfall 3? Are you coming back? Is that a done deal or is that still up in the air?
Well, as far as Occupation Rainfall 3 goes, I think audiences obviously hold the key to that city, and it's all up there with Mr. Luke Spark. I mean, if he's not busy off directing a Star Wars movie or something, which is probably what should happen. Look, I think when people see this film, they'll understand that the story is not quite done. Occupation Rainfall is certainly it's certainly not the bookend. So never say never. I would love to come back and finish the story if Matt's alive by the end of Occupation Rainfall too. But we'll see. I certainly hope so.
All right, for my fans at home, go check out Occupation Rainfall, arriving in theaters, on digital and on demand June 11. Dan, thank you for talking to me and congratulations.
Thank you so much for your time. See you guys later. Ciao.